How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the Ride Along with RONIN 47R. I'm very excited to share with you the first look at the British Tier 6 premium tank, the Boilermaker, the same tank that came from the comic World of Tanks. Let's go ahead and jump into the garage and check this thing out. Mic check, mic check, mic check. How's everybody doing? Welcome aboard another Ride Along with RONIN 47R. Today's pretty exciting. It's November 1st, 2016, and if you've been paying attention to the World of Tanks console website, or maybe you just notice it on accident or something here in the ops, notice something up there at the top. It says ×2 Boilermaker Crew XP, and that's typically something that occurs when they have a new tank that comes out and they're trying to promote you to get it and or play it so that it's an added benefit that you will get repeatedly a ×2 experience for having that tank for that crew. So there you go, Boilermaker. If you play the British Tier 6 Sherman Firefly, aka the Boilermaker, which is the actual name of the tank from the Dark Horse Comics, the World of Tanks rollout, which I think is coming out with episode 2. Although if you look at episode 1, I don't know why you say episode, the first edition, you see a sneak peek of it, but that's just me. Maybe I'm insane. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump over to the store here, and there's a beautiful picture of that tank. Very iconic, in my opinion. This was a very, very interesting tank. So let's go ahead and jump over to the tank section of the store, and we're jumping in. Now, if you were to wait until the 11th of November, instead of getting the Ultimate, you can get, I want to say, the loaded version. Or mega, or some, I don't know, some lower version, and it will cost less gold. And then if you wait even a longer amount of time, maybe the 3rd week of November, then you can get the lesser cost. I'm going to go ahead and grab this now. Would prefer not to be honest, because I don't need 7 days of premium. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but I don't, quote, need it. And then I don't need these 20 whatever boosts and all that kind of stuff. And then as far as the silver is concerned, I mean, it doesn't hurt because I'm at 2,900,000. However, you're basically buying silver, so I would prefer not to do that. But I want to get this thing out to you guys. I YouTube, I collect, and it's just kind of my little self-inflicted job here to go ahead and take the heat for you, get things done ASAP so that when you go to look it up, you can figure out if this is something you want to get, or whatever reason that you're researching it. Maybe it's just entertainment. With all that said, let's go ahead and grab this guy right here for 9,300 gold. Let's go ahead and grab him, and now you'll see I'm very poor. And if you left joystick to the right, you can see the different goodies that they are getting. I don't want to say giving you, but what is included in the package. So you get 20 XP boosts, which are ×3s. You get the access to the operation, get a garage slot, of course at 300 gold, 7 days of premium, which I do not recall what that is valued at, and then you have the 3 pieces of kit that they are suggesting that you have, which is interesting because it's V-Stab and it's GLD, which a lot of times I will go with vents, but whatever. Okay, so here's a gun rammer. To me, this setup screams you are getting the primary thing that this tank needs to do is keep its gun running. That's what the primary focus of this tank is, based on me looking at that equipment setup. Of course, they give you some shells, yay, and then the tank itself. So let's go ahead and click A and click B, and now we're jumping back to the garage. Now, in order to get to the garage, or to the tank in the garage as quickly as possible, I'm just going to tier 6 it, British it, medium it, and premium it. And what you go ahead and see is that there just happens to be 2 medium tier 6 British tanks that are available in the game / in my garage. I'm going to go ahead and make him just a favorite. I don't know why, it's just a good habit to get into. Another thing, as we take a look at this beautiful tank, is first of all, I do like that green. That is the same stock green. I want to say that was in the, was it the Snakebite? I don't know. I remember seeing this somewhere else. But regardless, notice, speaking of colors, take a look at that just for a moment there. Do you notice anything going on with the barrel? Some of you aficionados may already know the answer to this. Looking at it from top down, you see it less. Looking at it from the side, all things being equal there, right about there. What do you notice? it's camouflaged, not just a color, but it's specifically trying to trick your eye. To make a quick glance at this tank, they're trying to hide the fact that this is a Firefly. They do not want the enemy to quickly and easily pick them out from a group as being a high priority target, because this gun will absolutely hurt the Germans. And I'm looking back as far as a historical standpoint in the game. Of course, it doesn't matter who you're shooting at, it's still going to hurt. But the point is that they do not want to be singled out, because when you prioritize targets, you're going to want to take out the tank that is most dangerous to you. So this looks more Shermanish, you know. It doesn't look, if you ignore the end of the barrel, you're like, oh, okay, Sherman, got it. But in reality, it is a a Firefly, which, and again, just to restate, this is the Boilermaker, which is the specific comic book tank. Notice it comes with Sergeant Jim White, a character from the comic, and notice there is a new skill available. So unlike my normal methods of operation there, I would normally get rid of the crew because I'm going to use it as a premium tank, and I would drop people in and that sort of thing. I am not going to get rid of this guy because he's a special crew member that came with a special skill, and I will eventually put him in a non-premium tank permanently. But for now, I'm going to keep him in here. And let's go ahead and take a look at him specifically, because this is part of the Boilermaker experience, which is, good old Sergeant White. Now, what is this skill? What are we talking about? Last Stand? I've never seen it before. You've never seen it before. You've probably heard about it. But let's just go ahead and start from scratch. It says your commander rallies the crew when your tank has less than 10% HP remaining, improving all major crew qualifications. I have confirmed with Wargaming that it does stack. So, if you had vents or whatever else that you're boosting your stuff, yes, this does stack. If you do have this crew member, just like any other, dare I say, purchase skills, which is a whole nother political discussion, because it is what it is, right? I'm not even going there with my opinion at this point in time. But do not get rid of this, because you cannot get it back. So never switch this out for another skill thinking, oh, well, I'll come back to it later. It doesn't work that way. I am going to go ahead and select a skill at this time. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just select, I don't know if I'm going to select camouflage or not. Let's see what the bonus is, by the way, which is a nice segue into looking at the upper right-hand corner. You can see firepower is 30 and 28, 16, 42, 73, concealment being 42. And if you click the Y button there, you can see some other things, and it says 0.24 for stationary, 0.16 for moving, so it really drops when you move, which it does for everybody except for light tanks, but pretty significant drop there. I'm going to go ahead and risk it without going further into the data analysis, and I'm going to go ahead and just, instead of doing repairs, which I normally do, I'll live life on the edge. I'll go ahead and do camouflage as my current developed skill, and then I'll switch it out for something else. If I see it's going south, I'll switch it out for repairs, which is what I normally do for other tanks, other situations. Also, too, again, we don't have to worry about equipment purchases because that's already done for us. And, let's just jump in and pretty this thing up. I usually do it first, but I got so caught up in looking at this tank because it is pretty cool, I'm not going to lie, that I didn't forget, but I did not jump on this immediately. The other thing, too, which is really interesting, speaking of how this tank looks, very few tanks in this game have spaced armor. Okay, let me restate that. Very few tanks in this game have spaced armor. When I'm referring to, and let me see if I get this guy closer. Referring to the decorative items here, like whether it be a German tank with the side skirts, whether it be the logs on the side of the Fury, whether it be these tracks here, these physical decorative tracks on the side of the turret and front of the tank and the sides. I have been told, I have not looked at the data myself, but I've been told by Wargaming, straight up, that these act as spaced armor. Now, when they said they do, does that mean every single track on this tank acts as spaced armor? I did not confirm that yet, but they did say the quote, the tracks on the Boilermaker act as spaced armor. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if you do this and you look, I'm going to go ahead and jump out there and say, well, definitely the ones on the side, right? Front, I don't know. Maybe. Gives me the impression. The ones on the turret, I'm not seeing anything different. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not good at reading this yet, and I'm sure you awesome subscribers, friends, family, and etc. out there are going to help me figure this thing out. So feel free to report in. If you find out before I do, which you probably will, go ahead and make some posts there on the video down below. But anyways, yeah, so pretty cool. There you go. Moving on. Yay, I'm out of there. All right, so one next thing we want to do is let's go ahead and take a look at the actual goodies here. So you do have a Sherman 1C, which is a tier 6 turret. You do have a sweet tier 7 gun, which is a 17-pounder. And it's the Mark 7. You have a tier 5 engine, tier 6 treads. So you have pretty good, the radio is great. You're going to definitely get the signals. This is a medium tank, but I'm sorry. The way I look at this thing, this is a tank destroyer in my view. Maybe I'll play it as an aggressive tank destroyer. I'm not sure. But to me, this is more of a standoff support sort of tank. Moving on, let's go ahead and click the Y button there over that package, which is, of course, the one and only package, as it is a premium tank. And notice that the premium round, good Lord, is 239 for the penetration. And again, I say good Lord, meaning the premium tanks typically in the past have been substandard compared to a premium, which I compared to a non-premium, which I totally agree with. This guy here is very much following suit with the non-premium Firefly. In fact, when my preliminary analysis, and I don't have one in the garage to show you, but looking on it online, is that they're identical. Again, preliminary analysis, feel free to quote me later, correct me and that sort of thing. And it was done before the first, which of course, World of Tanks does have the opportunity to change things as they see fit. So rate of fire is 12.77, penetration is 171 and 239, as I pointed out earlier. Damage is still, it's 150. Aim time is 2.10. Wow, actually 0.38. I'm really curious. They've doubled up. They've doubled up the V-Stab and the GLD. Really want to get that gun in play. But it's a 2.1, which to me is not a slow aim time. The rate of fire is 12.77. I'm wondering if this is going to be, if it's going to be a problem for me if this thing aims in quicker than it reloads, because then I don't need all that extra help with the aiming in time. I can use it somewhere else. But we'll see when we go ahead and take this guy for a spin. And we're going to do so very, very soon, because we already have everything that we need set up there for crews and for equipment. We do need to set up some... oh, wait, one last thing. See, he goes up to a tier 8, so he does have standard matchmaking. So just kind of keeping in mind, what is it? What kind of tanks will this guy be going up against? And they have a lot of rounds, so I'm thinking they are going to have a fun reload here. But just for the fun of it, when in doubt, I'm just going to go ahead and maybe do that much. I don't know. The first couple games, I'm pretty confident that they're going to give me, good matchmaking, because that's what they usually do when you first get a tank, is they put you at the same tier. Now I'm just going to go with putting in T, because I'm kind of weird about my premiums. I like having things in there. First aid kit and repairs. Not going to worry about catching on fire at this time, but of course I'll change based on what I learn about this tank. And now we are taking a jump over to the paint job action. I mean, it looks cool the way it is, don't get me wrong, but if they offer a paint job, then that tells me the default paint job does not give you a bonus. Maybe I'm wrong. Look, that's kind of neat with all the junk on there. That is pretty cool. Now, I normally go with full flat white, and it looks pretty cool, but I think that looks kind of neat. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do that one. I usually don't like those puffy cloud looking counting sheep deals. I'm going to guess I'm going to like this one here the most. But again, with all those fun items on the outside of the tank, and they did a great job. I mean, it's a handsome looking tank. Yeah, it's a little too yellow. That doesn't grab me. Nah, it's too green the first. I'll go with him. He's cool. Boom. He actually looks really nice. All right, so now we have some desert action. But they did a great job. I mean, the art of this of this tank. Looks really nice. Nah, I don't like that specky thingy. That one, nope. I mean, it's kind of cool for deserty, but nah. I'm liking him. So it's either the light version or the dark version. Oh, yeah. 41 through 43. Oh, they're both the same. I don't know. What do you guys like? Vote now. Just kidding. That'd be kind of cool. Let's just go with this one. Ta-da! All right. Last but not least is the urban camouflage. I'm just kind of thinking about those maps because it's kind of funny to me that they give you an urban camouflage on a map when there's like a small chunk of the map that has a city, but you're still out in open expanse, and I'm thinking, whatever. Not a big fan of the digital for my old school tanks. Call me bizarre, but I'm not. That one actually looks kind of cool to me because it's just, I don't know, it's just oddly different. It's goofy. This one here, and there's not a lot of tank to look at for camouflage, you know what I mean? Because it's so covered up by other items. And I mean, literally, look at this one and that one. They look so similar. That one's kind of cool. I think I'm going to go with this one. He looks kind of about as darkish as I'm going to get, and I'm just feeling kind of like in that mood. So there you go. Ta-da! You have your skill picked, you've got your crew member, you've got your equipment, your consumables, you've got your ammunition loadout, you've got your pretty camouflage stuff all set up. Operation-wise, by default, you have that one already set up, so we don't even have to pick that one. We will have to pick the boiler ace though if we are going to play this tank. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time, right? So let's go ahead and grab him. I'll just leave. It says detect one or more vehicles and destroy one. Yeah, you know what? I'm probably not going to be doing any detecting. Earn a scout medal. Probably not going to be scouting. And then eye for eye. Destroy light tank. Yeah, I'll just leave that one on. That's cool. So there you go. We have our operations set up. I'm not going to mess around with any of these boosts. Don't need them at this time. And then you have your automatic one there. And then dominant force is just something that happens to be going on right now for, as you can see, for everybody. Must play as a tank destroyer or an artillery in one situation, medium or a heavy in another situation, and then play a light or a medium in another situation. But you have to be in a platoon for that last one to take effect. Okay, I lied. You know what? You have to be in a platoon for all of them. Ew, okay, then. Well, there you go. So that's not going to happen for me at this point in time. All right, guys, so that's the next segment. I'll, number one, learn how to talk, and number two, we'll be playing a game. All right, and away we go. So we're jumping into a part of the game. I'm just showing you a few clips so that you guys can get an idea of the gun handling, because that's really what this tank is all about, in my opinion. It's all about the gun. You know, just some things to think about. The way the equipment setup is, if you remember, is the V-stab and the GLD and the gun rammer. Keeping that in mind in case you want to customize the loadout here and set up in a different way. You know, just kind of look at the aim time. Look how you have to move back and forth, and how everything works together or doesn't, meeting or not meeting your needs. Have a couple of Craft Panthers there in front of me and to the right. And you can just see some of the gun dispersion and that sort of thing, how quick the aim time is, the reload, you get a feel for that. I am running some pudding. And there you go. Another hit on the Craft Panther there off in the distance. Doing some peek-a-booming here. Not something I'd normally do in this tank, it just worked out in this game. That's kind of the role I had to play. I prefer to be more of a tank destroyer. And got it down as well as Commander's Hatch there in that one shot. Now over here, there is another Craft Panther. Boom. Real quick auto lock there, and I'm trying to get out of the way. Pretty quick reload, just over 3 seconds. And, he did get one into me, and then he was finished. In this game, they ended up capping out, and there were still a couple of guys to kill, and they just capped out. Alright, so now we're actually in the game itself. This is the full game that I'm going to show you. I did cut out a few pieces towards the end, which will make sense in a little bit, but basically this is your typical game, public match there, going solo. in the new Boilermaker, which I got to tell you, I'm really happy with this tank. I do not have the Firefly. I don't know, I'm not very far from it, to be honest. I am on the Sherman 3 and it's fully upgraded, haven't unlocked it. So I don't have anything to compare it to, you know, with hands-on as far as how the Firefly compares to this. However, if you look at the paper, or on paper, the stats, it's pretty darn identical. And of course, not counting the premium bonuses as far as like repairs or experience or silver. I'm talking just the actual vehicle itself and how it behaves. So here I am on the 8 line all by my lonesome, very sad and lonely, and I'm like, just whatever. I just couldn't get a really good match when I was trying to get some games going here. It was weird. I was doing well, but just not quite the type of game that I wanted to share with you. But I was doing consistently well where I very quickly knocked out the ace operation. So go figure that one out. Also, another impression that I have of this tank is it kind of feels like the Fury on steroids as far as the gun handling. But I don't know. It's interesting. So here's another Boilermaker. Boom. It's one-on-one. Here we go. And you can just see the reload. We're just going back and forth. I end up getting tracked here pretty soon. Boom, I got tracked. He runs into me. But I think he bounces, and I'm ahead of him on the reload game there on the DPM. Finally, the heavy tank off in the distance. The Japanese, I want to say tier 6. Yeah, this is a C8. Got that long shot and was able to get that kill shot there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sweep around, flank around to the J line, and see if I can assist. It's pretty even on the score, although technically we are 1 tank down from them. But it can go either way at this point, and I just, you know, this is not a brawling tank, but I just had to play aggressively because I just wasn't happy with the way the public matches were going. Uh-oh. So the 30AT got the drop on me there, and it hurt a lot. Has a great gun, but you know, no turret, that sort of thing, low tier, etc., etc. He was easily dispatched. Now I know where Artie is because of the incoming round. Trying to take that shot on the fly. I was a little concerned about the Artie, but you know, I was going to risk it because I knew I was kind of on this arc. I am detected, but I figured, you know, hopefully the RNG is going to be against the artillery guy with the angle. Did get a bounce from off you know, heavy tank there. Was able to finish him off, and now I'm going to go ahead and peek up and over this hill now. Well, there's the Artie again, and I figure that he is a primary target. Now I am detected, and wait a minute, whoa, did you see when I zoomed out? There was an enemy to the left, and I got a lucky bounce from that, so that was good. Turns out that he is able to pen me from his position, and I don't think he's using premium rounds. That's a problem. I don't know what's going on there, because his gun is definitely not at tier 6 status, that's for sure. But I was able to play that back and forth with him, and you know, finally take him out. Uh-oh, there's a TD to my right. He swept around and flanked me, because again, until that heavy shows up, I'm all by myself. But you got a good idea, a good impression of the vulnerabilities, not vulnerabilities, of how it takes a hit, doesn't take a hit, peeking up and over, and that sort of thing. This was the last kill shot by this this tank over here, finishing the game, allowing me to have a game that ended with, well, it was pretty decent, to be honest. Only 49,000, close to 50,000 there. And I did get a 95%, a first class badge out of it, 16 pens, just over 2,000 damage, 4 killed. So it was a pretty decent game. Not super braggable, but is about the best I can share with you there. But this was the kind of day it was. It was just, I was doing well, but nothing too crazy. Well, so there you have it, folks. You saw a couple of gun handling clips there, and then an actual game where you saw it from start to finish. It's a really good tank. I can tell I'm going to very much enjoy this thing, and I look forward to hearing what you guys think about it. And if you get it, what's your impressions of it? All right, folks, I'll catch you later. Now, where did my crew go off to? Oh, I see. There they are. Okay, girls, tell them who they are if they're receiving this transmission.
Well, you are one of the 47 Ronin. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.